When I got divorced, I saw all my shortcomings. And I wasn't going to put them on another woman unless I worked on those shortcomings. And guess what? After I became a comedian, I had more fucking shortcomings. Now I had less to offer a woman. I had nothing to offer a woman. What did I have to offer a woman? I didn't have a car. I didn't have an apartment. I didn't have security. I wasn't stable. I had nothing going for me. The only thing I had going for me when I met my wife was I was a member of the Screen Actors Guild. I was already a 3-year member of the Screen Actors Guild. Besides that, I have no other accolade at that time. I had shot a pilot for CBS, and I was doing spots at the store. She had no reason to believe in me. I was just one of the regular comics that came to the store.
Have you asked her what it was that made her stick around?
No, I know what made me stick around with her was a question she asked me like the first 3 weeks. She said that she could tell I was raised without a mother. And it really bothered me because I had met 2,000 people in my journey, and it took a white chick from Tennessee to tell me that. And that really flipped how I looked at things. And I could also feel that I gave that energy off. So it was a really slow process. Like, I kept it really slow at the beginning. And it's so weird because this episode was really going to be about love and how when you're looking for love, you make mistakes. And when you're not looking for love, you find the perfect partner. You know, everybody wants to fall in love, you know. As a matter of fact, I have 2 friends that told me within the last week they getting married. 2 girls. I'm not going to let the cat out of the hat. But when you motherfuckers find out, your fucking wigs are going to flip. You know, and you think about it. I thought about both of these girls. You want me to tell you what happened? Over this pandemic, they saw what it was like to be alone. I told you that people were going to really change. These 2 girls lived to be single. And both of them, there's such a huge age gap in these women. One, I could see it, that she came to the conclusion that there's a lot more to comedy. I'm not getting any younger, and it's time to, somebody really loves me and they want to marry me. I got to think about it. And one was a young girl that I know that called me and said, I got proposed to, what do you think? And I'm like, you know, you just had a picture of you in a fucking bikini up on YouTube, and now you're getting married? How did this happen? And she's like, you're not going to believe it. We were friends. We both were in relationships. We broke up with that other significant other, and we stayed friends, and it just happened. And I could see why both of them are making that move. Because this left women with no security. 1,000 women realized how much it feels to be secure now. So now they're looking at men a different way. Like, I don't ever want to feel this alone again. And there's a lot of guys that are probably feeling this way right now.
Absolutely, yeah.
There's a lot of guys that are going, you know, fuck, I wish I had a girl to talk to 3 times a week, somebody to come over, maybe a girl who needs help with rent. And you guys could, no, I'm not making a lewd statement. I'm saying maybe, you know, it's somebody who you're relating to. You're both broke. So you're both putting shit together, and eventually you fall in love. It could be a neighbor. It could be a lady up in 4A. You know, things happen during this pandemic.
Well, I think it's the one that I don't want, because that's how I feel. But I don't want to rush into anything where I'm just so desperate to not feel lonely that I'm just going with anybody who has a pulse.
And you've already done that. So right now, you're looking. But it's so weird how when all this shit went down 10 days ago, I was talking to my wife, and I went and got the Lenny Bruce book. And I go, you know, find in this book, yes, he had a relationship with a stripper that was crazy, but where in this book does he talk about love? There was no love in my life. I didn't want any love in my life because I thought love would slow me down. I thought me falling in love would slow my love down for comedy and slow my momentum down. That's what I honestly fucking thought.
But even if it did, do you like? Could it be like you live a fuller life with it? Like, yeah, maybe you do slow down a little bit, but you have a better perspective on stage, or
no, there was no perspective. There was nothing to gain. It was really weird because when I started dating her, since it was the Comedy Store, we kept it under the hat. We said, we're going to keep this professional so we both don't lose our jobs. So at the Comedy Store, we're going to be cool as fuck. And then we started dating like in July. And one time in September, I just went over there and stayed for like 4 days. And I was living with her. And then that Sunday after the Comedy Store, her and I went to Rock and Roll Rouse on Sunset. And who was in there? Eleanor. And Eleanor seen us, and she goes, what the fuck? So we go, Eleanor, we've been dating, but don't say nothing. And she goes, oh my God, this is the unlikeliest couple. Like everybody would say. And then once we let the cat out of the bag, a lot of people raised their fucking hand, especially to her about me.
saying what?
That I wasn't good for her, that we were completely different, that I was an animal on wheels. You know, the whole fucking deal. And she's like, what, you don't think I... You know, at that time, I was getting into fist fights at the Comedy Store. I threw a microphone at a guy, you know, so now I was, like, fucked up, and she seen this behavior. But she didn't turn her back on me. She understood where I was coming from. And so when she witnessed that behavior, and when people told her how fucking nuts I was, it pissed me off in a way behind my
Fuck
back.
yeah.
It pissed me off, and it made me work harder to prove to her I wasn't that person people were saying.
Was it mostly guys or girls talking shit?
Both.
Really? Okay.
Both. We laugh about it today.
I don't get that impulse. Because that happens, I think that happens a lot. People like to tear stuff down.
One of the best friends I had at the time pulled her aside one night and told her to be careful with me, that I was nuts, that I might fucking just leave, you know, just craziness. And she told me maybe 3 months later, and we both laughed about it. And when we got heavy, I pulled the plug on that motherfucker. I never talked to him again because you were cheering against me since day one. Why? How can I be your friend? Why? We broke bread together 1,000 times. Whatever warning he was telling her, I don't know what the warning was, because I had been a felon. I didn't know what the warning was.
So, at what point in this? It sounds like you took it seriously, but like, at what point did you see did you like really consider yourself in a relationship? Like, were you trying to avoid it, or?
I saw myself in a relationship at the 90-day mark, but I didn't want, like I said, I don't like taking people down dark streets. So I kept her at arm's distance, even though we lived together. It was very weird. We worked together, so she was with me. If I was there, she was there. If she wasn't working, she was with me. Do you follow what I'm saying to you? So if she was working, I was doing a spot. And if she wasn't working, she'd still drive me down to see her friends. At that time, the store was everything to us. So we were down there pretty much 7 nights a week. Very seldom. From the time I met her in June to maybe for about 18 months, we were like fucking 2 peas in a pod. The only time I wouldn't be with her was when I would go on the road with Rogan.
But you said you were keeping her at arm's length, like emotionally, and like what part?
I loved her. I cared for her. But I wasn't ready to get married. I was really far away from getting married. I still had to prove myself to me. I wasn't going to do to her how I failed the first time. There was no two ways. There was no two ways about it. That I couldn't handle it. I couldn't handle being married the first time, and I was a civilian. Here I am, fucking married. I'm a comedian. I can't handle it. So for a while there, I was dating her, waiting to get dumped. So I was waiting to get dumped from the Comedy Store. I'm waiting to get dumped by her because I really wasn't doing nothing productive. I was doing spots. I wasn't making any money. I was breaking even. Some months I would make half the rent. Some months I would give it to her in 2 installments. I wasn't doing anything sensational out of this world. I was paying a couple things off at the same time. And then she talked me into going to the IRS. I think it was at the 2-year mark where I realized that I was with a girl who had my back. This was not a one-night stand. This was not something that she was my girlfriend to be cool. There was nothing to be cool about by being my girlfriend. Do you follow what I'm saying? There was nothing to be cool about. She sincerely cared about me, and I sincerely cared about her. I cared about her so much that I was embarrassed about the drugs and that lifestyle. That's the only real thing I hid from her. I wasn't really. And you got to remember one thing. The last 5 years of my addiction, I didn't really get high with people. Somebody sent me an email the other day. My dad said he got high with you in 1988 in New York City. Bad news. I didn't live in 88 in New York City. I was in prison, stupid. Tell your father to stop smoking weed, you fucking Momo. So, no, I just didn't want to. I didn't want to take somebody down a hole like I did the first time. So I kind of kept at arm's distance till about the second year. And then I went to sign up at a rehab one time just to give it a try. If I could make it, I was trying to go in there anonymously without somebody saying, hey, I saw you at the store. Second fucking meeting, somebody fucking plugged me. So I couldn't go back there. I even signed up under a fake name. The whole fucking deal, This is before, they was ask you for shit. This is like voluntary form. And you have an ID? No, I don't have it with me. Bring it next time. Yeah, I'll bring it next time. Get the fuck out of here. I ain't bringing it next time. So it took about 2 years and then 3 years. And I started caring more and more. But at the same time, I had to let her know that comedy was number one at that point. And that's very hard in a relationship.
How did she take it?
Like a trooper. And it wasn't by my words. It was by my actions. She saw me all those nights come home with, she saw me ordering headshots at 9 in the morning. She saw me stuffing envelopes. She saw me leave at 10 o'clock to go to casting directors to drop off things. I just wasn't the guy that got up and stayed on the couch. I got up in the morning, I vacuumed, I did some laundry, I fucking got on the phone. She taught me how to use the computer. I had no idea how to use the fucking computer. And it was just a process. 2009, we together 9 years, I went for a Santeria reading. The guy talked something about me getting married. I called her up. I told her we're getting married. She said yes. I called her father on the phone. He said yes. And that was the end of it. I married her. About a month ago, I realized that July 1st is going to be our 20th anniversary. And I sat her down in the living room and I said, think about what happened the last 10 years. We went from a couple that was living in a studio apartment in noisy Hollywood, in the hell of Hollywood, with 10 cats, to moving to the valley, living a couple life, which was really good. We had date night. We had all this shit. We would go to eat on Friday nights, nice older couples. We thought we're never going to have kids. then fucking life throws you a fucking fastball and you hit it out of the park, and now we have a kid. That's what happened the last 10 years. Not to mention comedy, CDs, fucking the road, not to mention all these fucking things. It's a bit overwhelming.